For today's video, we are going to be talking about the #1 fundamental skill that you need to learn in order to be successful as a DJ. If you don't know this, then everything else is going to fall apart. We're not talking about technical ability, we're not talking about 4-deck mixing or any of that. We're talking about how to read a crowd. Let's get into it. Now, if you're new here, my name is Karl Thomas. I'm a UK-based bar and nightclub DJ, and I've worked in and out of these venues for the past 18 plus years. And it's safe to say that over that time, I've certainly learned a thing or two about reading a crowd. And I do think that this has helped me to DJ consistently over that time. So when it comes to reading a crowd, my approach week in, week out is broken into two distinct levels. There's the macro level, that's like level 1. So that's looking at the big picture. So I'm looking at the overall dance floor, the overall room, or if it's a one-room club or one-room venue, for example. Then level 2 is the micro level. So this is where I'm looking at certain individuals within the room and also considering other factors that will play into what I am deciding to play. That may not make a lot of sense now, but we're going to break this down a little bit further. So when you finish watching this video, you'll understand exactly my approach and how it works in practice. Okay, so level 1 then in a bit more detail. This is the macro kind of top line level. And in order to think like this, you need to stop thinking about certain individuals dotted around the club and different individuals on your dance floor. Think of your dance floor, your room, your venue, whatever place you're playing, okay, as one person as opposed to lots of different individuals. That's first and foremost. And by the way, you can only read a crowd if you're looking at them and you're observing them. You cannot do this. I've seen so many DJs do this, so it is important to mention. Just focused on mixing. They've got their head down, headphones on, and they're just focusing on the decks beneath them. Don't do that. You need to be looking at the crowd and observing them. So now you're thinking of the crowd as one single person. Ask yourself the following questions. What kind of mood is it in? Is it on holiday? Is it in a great mood because it's the end of the week? Or is it just trying to chill out after work, let off some steam and potentially tired and needs to go to bed early? What time did it arrive? For example, if you're playing all night as a DJ and the room got busy very early, it might mean that people are going to leave early. So you might need to bring your peak hour set forward. What kind of energy level does it have? Also, what is it there to do? Is it there to pose and look good? Or is it there to get really sweaty and have a really good party? Okay, these are the questions that I'm asking myself every single week when I am observing the crowd as a whole. And I think you should be doing the same. Now, of course, in order to play the right song at the right time for your crowd, you're going to need a comprehensive library of music. The best way to get a library of music is by signing up to a DJ record pool. My #1 DJ record pool of choice is Heavy Hits, and you can sign up for your first month for just $5. That's less than the price of a cup of coffee. Check out the link down in the description down below. Use my code KARLTHOMAS and you will get your first month for just $5. So now you understand level 1 and the basic kind of macro level of the dance floor and the questions you need to be asking yourself and figuring out when you're playing out. It's time to move on to level 2, which is a little bit more in-depth analysis, so to speak, of individuals within your crowd and also other factors that you want to consider. Now, I'm not saying it's going to get creepy and you're going to start staring out individuals on the dance floor, but you can kind of get a sense of the different personalities that are in your crowd and also as well other things that you want to think about when you are playing out. And all of this stuff combined, all of this information combined will help you with your analysis and your ability to read a crowd in general. So first and foremost, let's talk about certain individuals. Now, this isn't meant to sound prejudiced or anything like that, but you can largely put people into 3 distinct buckets. Bucket #1 is the party starters. These people are generally few and far between. However, they are absolutely critical for the success of your night. A party starter, in my opinion, is someone that is on the dance floor first, the person that is encouraging all of their mates to get involved. They jump the highest on the drops, or they dance the hardest on the drops. Okay, they cheer the loudest when they hear their favorite tracks. They are the people that you want to really look after, because their energy is infectious. Where they go, their friends go. And so these are the people, in my opinion, that are really going to help you with your night. Bucket number 2 then, and these are the people that are the complete opposite to the party starters in bucket number 1. These are, I don't really have a name for them, but I guess you could have called them party poopers back in the day, but I feel like that's such an old-fashioned term. But we always get it in nightclubs, events, venues. You always get people that are stood around, they look bored, and you kind of question, why are they there in the first place? They would be probably far better off going home and watching Netflix. Now, when it comes to this group of people, you've got 2 options. You either have to make them dance because everyone around them has got so much energy, they're so hyped up, they're so up for it that they have no alternative but just to get involved. Or you make them feel so out of place. I know that sounds awful, but you make them feel so out of place that they decide to move away from the dance floor and go off to the bar. To be honest, being stood at the bar is probably a better place for them. And then in the final bucket, you have got everybody else. This is going to be the majority of your crowd. So they're certainly not going to be the party starters. So they're not going to be the first people on your dance floor. However, they could be easily influenced by a group of party starters to get involved. They are people that are just middle of the road, want a good time, but could be easily swayed in one direction or another. So this is why you want to minimize the people in bucket number 2, and you want to look after the people in bucket number 1, the party starters, because the party starters' energy is very infectious, so it can impact the masses that are in bucket number 3. But similarly, the people in bucket number 2, the people that are stood around are looking bored, doing nothing, the party poopers, we'll just call them. I know I hate that term, but yes, they could also impact the people in bucket number 3. So look out for those 3 different types of personality and look after your party starters. Now we've identified the 3 kind of broad categories of person that could be on your dance floor. Let's now focus on other factors that you want to consider and other observations you need to make in order to be able to read a crowd. First and foremost, geography. What country, what city, and what type of club are you playing in? An example, and I know that this is a bit of a stereotype, but Berlin in Germany is quite famous for having a very prominent techno scene. If I think of my own club residencies, I play in chain high street nightclubs. So I know that the crowd are predominantly going there to hear music that they know. So a lot of the music I will play will be commercial stuff. I am quite lucky in that I get to cross over and play some underground bits in my particular room. However, the majority of the crowd want to listen to the music that they know and love and recognize. If you're playing in, say, the West End in London, we know that this is a notoriously touristy area. So it might be that your crowd is going to be pretty international. So have you got tracks that are going to appeal to people on a global scale? Also, do consider what people are wearing. For example, if people have turned up in shirts, smart trousers and shoes, and you've got ladies in long dresses and high heels, the chances are that you may not be able to get them to rave to your 140 BPM techno set all night. But if people turn up in t-shirt, jeans and trainers, then they probably are a lot more comfortable to do just that. Also consider the age of your crowd. For example, if you have got a slightly older crowd, it might be that they would react better to some club classics and throwback tunes versus a younger crowd that might react better to the latest tracks that are in the charts and what is trending on social media and TikTok. Of course, these are a little bit stereotypy type things to say, but I'm just saying these are things that you might want to consider when forming your analysis. And finally, the most important observation of all, how do people react when you drop certain tracks? Do more people join the dance floor? Do people start to look a little bit lost? Do they start to leave? Okay, you need to be observing and monitoring at all times, and that way you will be in the best place to keep the energy up, making those tweaks, making those adjustments to your set through the night. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example scenario, and I'm going to use all the information from this video and tell you how I would read this crowd. The scenario is as follows. I'm playing in a UK high street nightclub, which is situated in a university town. The university has had an event that is running all day, separate to the club night, and I know that there has been music and alcohol available at that university event. So it's likely that the crowd is coming to the nightclub once that event has finished. Okay, so using this example, I know that I'm playing in a UK high street nightclub in a university town. That to me suggests that I'm going to need a mixture of top 40 music, including dance, R&B, maybe some throwback stuff, and some pop and party music. I know that there has been an event all day, okay, and that the nightclub will be opening afterwards. So first and foremost, I've already got an idea of the type of music I'm going to need to be bringing out on that night. The potential energy of the room, so level 1, I know that this event at the university, there's been alcohol available. So I know that the people that are arriving at the venue are potentially going to have had quite a lot of drink, so they might burn out quite quickly. And because the event has been taking place all day, it might be fairly likely that people are going to arrive quite early to the venue, but also leave fairly early. So that gives me an idea as to when I might be playing my peak hour tracks. So on to the night then. The night starts, the club opens, okay, and I know that the energy in the room is high to begin with because they're all coming in excited after this event. My party starters in the room are straight on the dance floor, and I'm playing some top 40 kind of chart R&B music, the vocal stuff, the Beyoncés, the Rihannas, etc. That's really good. That brings loads of people onto the crowd. I'm constantly looking and seeing what's working, and it seems that they like that music. The club has got busy very early, so I know that this crowd is probably going to burn out fairly early. Again, they have been drinking all day at this university event, so that means that I'm definitely going to bring my peak hour of music forward. However, I change the music up and I drop James Hype Ferrari, let's just say. That's dance music. We've gone from R&B to dance music because I've got to play across the board. My party starters that I have identified on the dance floor are starting to look a little bit lost and start to leave. And as a result, the other people around them also start to leave. So that to me suggests that it would be an R&B led crowd. So I go back to playing more R&B, and that works because the party starters and the other people around them go back onto the dance floor, which is brilliant. I then mix it up and play some party tunes, some throwback tunes, and that gets the crowd hyped even more. So I now know that my peak hour set is largely going to be based on a mixture of R&B and party tracks, because I know that that is going to be the stuff that is going to get them dancing the most. Around kind of 1:30 to 2 o'clock, as I predicted, people are starting to get tired. And so this is where I start to bring out some of those sing-along tracks to try and get people to really sing along before the night starts to thin out. And that is generally how I would approach that crowd. Now, of course, you know, it's going to be different every single night. Had that university event not been happening, okay, in the day, it might have meant that the crowd would come out a little bit later. If I have noticed that people are reacting more to dance music, I might have made it more of a dance music led set. But generally speaking, those are the types of signals that I will use to read a crowd. You might be sat there thinking, well, this is all well and good, but I haven't actually been booked as a DJ yet. So how can I get experience of reading a crowd? Well, my advice to you would be to go along to club nights and observe. Do everything that I've suggested in terms of spotting the party starters, sussing out the energy of the room and stuff, but do it from the other side of the DJ booth. You can do this. This is what I used to do in my early days of clubbing. I would see what tracks people are reacting to, what the DJ is playing, how they are structuring their sets. If you do all of this observation, it will land you in good stead when you finally land that DJ gig, and you will already know the basics of reading a crowd, and then you can build on it through your DJ sets. I hope that you have found this video useful. Please do give me a thumbs up if you have made it this far and you've enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will catch you in the next video.